You can go ahead. Okay. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Dr. Natalia Loukacheva. I'm Russian-Canadian, but for this year I am the first visiting Nansen Professor of Arctic Studies at the University of Akureyri. A part of my mandate is to promote Arctic issues, and energy is one important topic, more specifically legal and political developments. That's why I offered and organized this session. And more specifically, my interest in energy includes an academic interest. I'm teaching at Osgoode Hall Law School in Canada at the master's program on energy. I'm teaching legal courses there. And I also teach at the Polar Law program at the University of Akureyri. I think this session is quite important because no matter what we do with regards to energy resources in the Arctic, you can find linkages with legal and political issues. We heard a lot today about renewable energy and the wealth of knowledge and information on alternative sources of energy in the Arctic and experiences which could be learned further. And today we shall focus a little bit on Icelandic experience when it comes to renewables, but our session is mainly focused on oil and gas developments in the Arctic. And there are several questions that need to be addressed. How do we develop energy resources in the Arctic for the benefit of northerners? Can those resources be developed in sustainable and responsible way? Do we need more cooperation when it comes to technologies or best practices and knowledge sharing practices among the Arctic states or others for further exploration and resource development in the Arctic? So, and of course, since it's legal and political session, what are the gaps, or are there any gaps in regulatory frameworks when it comes to energy developments, offshore energy developments, etc.? So our session shall address only some of those questions, and we hope to have a discussion after all of our speakers have their presentations. Our first speaker is Dr. Gudni Johannesson, who is Director General of the National Energy Authority of Iceland since 2008. This agency is a governmental body under the Ministry of Industry and Innovation, responsible for public administration and regulation of the energy sector in Iceland, including hydropower, geothermal energy, and oil and gas exploration. Dr. Johannesson, for 17 years before joining this position, for 17 years, he was full professor in building technology at the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm, Sweden. And his research included building physics and energy conservation in the built environment. Dr. Johannesson has a Master of Science in Engineering Physics and a PhD in building physics from the University of Lund, Sweden. He has several awards, and he is also an affiliated professor at the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm, Sweden, and an adjunct professor at the University of Reykjavik. He is going to talk to us today about energy resources of Iceland, including perspectives of exploration of oil and gas in Iceland. Dr. Johannesson, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here with you and share some of the options and experiences we have in Iceland for energy extraction from the ground and from our natural resources. I represent Orkustofnun, as the American ambassador so eloquently said this morning. He had learned this word. And this is the National Energy Authority of Iceland. And we have the public administration of the energy sector. And we are also advisors to the government. And we work in long-term planning of the energy utilization and the energy system. And we contract and conduct research on resource utilization. And we also, which is very important, we accumulate and maintain databases on energy utilization. make forecasts for future trends. We issue all permits for exploration and the utilization of energy and earth-based resources, and we issue the power plant licenses. We are regulators for the national grid, and we are the official monitoring body, of course, for these licenses, and then we administer the fuel sector and transition to low-carbon fuels, but also we are responsible for trying to extract fuels from the bottom, from the seafloor, as I will come later on. And then we have several activities like the Energy Agency for energy efficiency. We have the Energy Fund for mitigating search for geothermal energy and the mitigating cost for such operations. And we also host the United Nations University for Geothermal Training Program. And this we do with 37 persons. A small institute in a small country has to have many tasks, and we say that our motto is the Swiss Army knife. That is what we go for. And so we have the public administration, and we are under the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, was it called this morning? They're changing name all the time, faster than I change my slides. And we are working, of course, on several acts that both concern our institute, but also electricity, energy and mineral resources, water resources, hydrocarbon sources, and the Seafloor Act. So, and then we are, of course, very depending on the environmental and natural resources Ministry for Environment and Natural Resources, and the laws on the so-called Master Plan Act. I will come to that. And, of course, on water governance, municipal planning, and nature conservation, and then the assessment, environmental impact, and strategic assessment also. So what is special about Iceland is that the ownership of resources is linked to the ownership of land. That means that every Icelander that owns a plot